Alright, legends, welcome back to Here's Rodder's Reviews. We're getting into episode 2 of Obi-Wan Kenobi. This is such a damn treat. I don't want to ruin this series for you whatsoever, but this is filling in a few of the blanks for me. Essentially, in episode 2, Princess Leia has been kidnapped. She's only 10 years old. Of course, this is set 10 years after Revenge of the Sith. And yes, these group called the Inquisitors, which turn out to be, a lot of them are Jedi that turn to the dark side to try and save their own asses. Now they hunt their own kind. So we've got this group that's after all the remaining Jedi, and there's this one woman called the Third Sister, and she's like the black sheep of the Inquisitor group, essentially. And like the main Inquisitor tells her at one point during this episode, you came from the gutter, and that's all you're ever going to be. You're never going to be in the same level as the rest of us. And she is pulling all the strings in the background of this episode, and turns out everything in episode 1 that led to the capture of a young Princess Leia and Obi-Wan essentially coming out of retirement and going after. He goes to this planet Dio, I want to say the name is. I might be wrong on the title of the planet, but I'm literally coming fresh from the episode. Literally just finished before I had to record here. He gets there, and the whole, well, you're really seeing the one city on it, but it's a bit like Coruscant and its appearance. It's almost like it gives the appearance of this planet could be a planet-sized city, kind of like Coruscant was, but it's very, very much like Japan in this environment. And Obi-Wan eventually tracks her down with the help of this guy, and there's a few comic moments of one of the characters in here who is posing as a Jedi himself and charging money to help people. And Obi-Wan finds him at the beginning helping a woman and her daughter off the planet for pay, and he's using the Jedi mind trick over the intercom to this guy at the spaceport, and pretend that he's using the Jedi mind trick to convince this guy on the other end of the intercom to help these two. But it's all smoke and mirrors. He's full of it. He's using magnets and whatnot to like open and close windows and whatnot, move things about the room, and the guy on the other end of the intercom is actually in on it with him, so it's a money making scheme. But Obi-Wan gets the advice that he needs out of him, where Leia could potentially be held at in the city. Very quickly tracks her down, and then it's the rest of the episode is essentially escaping from this planet and getting away from the Inquisitors. Now that's cutting it very, very short and sweet, but the interactions between Ewan McGregor and the actress that plays the young Princess Leia, Vivian Lyra Blair, she's called, she is doing such a good job in playing a young Princess Leia. She has it nailed, like so good in this episode, and she's got that sassiness that Carrie Fisher had, the smart quips and one-liners and whatnot. At one point, Obi-Wan is like, gives her like a cover story of what we're going to say here, and we're from such and such, we're farmers, and you're my daughter, and she's like, grandfather maybe, and the way she just delivers that one line is just like, just brings Carrie Fisher really, really into it. It's so well done. Unfortunately for Obi-Wan in this episode, he has a hard time getting her to trust him at one point, because the third sister sends out these like notifications to all the bounty hunters in the city to hunt him down, and Leia sees him trying to disable one of these things, because he kind of knows that if she sees this, it might swear in the other direction. She's incredibly smart, and it doesn't indeed do that. She realizes Obi-Wan has told her, your father sent me here to help you, to rescue you, but she figures out, okay, if it wasn't for you, you're the reason I'm here in the first place, and why should I trust you? And like, she runs from him. So there's so many good moments from Ewan McGregor in this episode as well, where this is the first time he's been in any kind of combat situation in 10 years. He's trying his hardest not to use the Force, because once he does that there, it's going to attract that much attention. So there's a lot of one-on-one combat, hand-to-hand combat in this episode, and it's brilliant. You see him coming in with these like moves where he knows exactly what he's doing. He's been trained since he was a small child to not just protect himself with a lightsaber, but also with hand-to-hand combat and whatnot. And he goes in, punches this guy, and then he jumps back screaming like he's hurt his wrist and everything. It's just age is creeping up on him. He's not the young man that he was, and yes, he's starting to slow down slightly, but it's so well done, so well acted in this episode. Now, for a moment in this episode, this is only a 6-parter. This is, and goodness knows if this is successful, and just going by these first 2 episodes, it's going to hit hard. It's probably going to be one of the best Star Wars shows out there, next to The Mandalorian. But excuse me, I don't know, we might actually, seeing what they've done so far in these 2 episodes, I'm hoping they might do a second season of Obi-Wan. I'm hoping that they might do that. But coming up in the end of the episode, we get a couple of cliffhanger moments that will kind of take you by surprise in a way. And one of them isn't really a spoiler, but Obi-Wan at this point in his life doesn't know that Anakin survived the battle and Mustafar, at the end of the Revenge of the Sith. He was completely convinced that Anakin died on the planet at that point, and has got no idea that Lord Vader is still alive and well and breathing. And this is the third sister actually gives him this piece of information at the end of the episode, where he's trying to get away from her, and she's like, this is all to get favour with Lord Vader. He was so happy whenever I bring you to him. He's been looking for you for a long, long time. So between episode 1, where we had Obi-Wan as that broken man, devastated over the guilt of what happened between him and Anakin, now realising that Anakin is alive and well, still very much in the dark side, and now he knows he's in serious trouble at this point, and he goes from that broken man to this real, just at the end of the episode, he's just in a state of shock. They eventually do get away at the end of the episode, but it's an interesting climax to this episode. Now, that's not much of a spoiler. We all know that's going to happen in this series, that Obi-Wan and Anakin Skywalker, well, Darth Vader, could potentially meet face to face in this episode. It's going to be good. There's another little thing that happened in there that I was not expecting. So it was, and again, it's a 6-parter. There's only 4 more parts of it left now, so they're not pulling their punches here at all. They're going flat out, and it's so good. And I'm curious to see how the interaction happens between Vader and Obi-Wan whenever they do potentially meet face to face, because in the original Star Wars, Tarkin says to Vader at one point, and this just popped into my head as I was speaking here. Do you remember the stage where Vader and him are having the conversation, and Tarkin's like, "What? Obi-Wan Kenobi is here?" And Vader's like, "I felt a tremor in the Force. The last time I felt that was in the presence of my old master." And if memory serves, Tarkin says, "He must be dead by now." So, obviously by the end of this series, going by that line of thinking, they're going to know Obi-Wan's alive, and how he gets out of it, goodness knows, whatever story they're telling here. I'm curious to find it out. I'm just kind of gutted now that I'm going to have to wait a full week to see episode 3. It's good. It's absolutely fantastic. I'm having such a good time with this series, so much so I'm going back and start the 2 of them over again and see if there's any of those little Easter eggs that I've missed. In episode 1, the toy that Obi-Wan was taking a look was the same little toy that you see Luke playing about with in the original Star Wars movie. I do believe C-3PO is in the background in one of the shots, and I'm pretty sure if he's there, R2-D2 is going to be somewhere as well. So yes, of course they were with Leia and Bail Organa, between episodes 3 and 4. So it is what it is. It's a brilliant little show. If you haven't checked it out yet, go and see it. It's great. I'm loving it.